Hello darlings, I am Cassandra. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 4 in my series on how to make a money pig, child. We're going to make a bling bling nose for your money pig. The first thing you need to do is find a nice, beautiful, stretchy fabric to use, and you're going to trace the upside down heart, because the pig's nose is basically an upside down heart, and you're going to trace it onto your beautiful stretchy fabric. I would actually use a fabric with a 4-way stretch. Now if you're going to I don't want to use the curse word, if you're not going to put care into how you make the pig's nose, darling, there is absolutely no point in making this pig, because the nose is one of the most important aspects about the pig in terms of its identity. When you think of a pig, the first thing you think about is the pig's nose, right? So the thing that's interesting is that the pig can smell like 10 times better than a human, but they have very, very poor vision, which we'll talk about when we work on the video for the pig's eyes. So what you're going to do with your 4-way stretch fabric, now when I say 4-way, you want something, listen, guys, this is your bling bling pig nose, so you can make it however you wish, okay? I prefer something stretchy because I wanted to have a plush, like juicy type look. If you look at a pig's nose, you'll see that it's really nice and juicy. So this is why I'm picking a 4-way stretch and something that is shiny. Now I am stuffing the pig's nose. Well, once you trace it on the fabric, y'all, you're gonna flip the fabric inside out. Make sure that you cut the small slit in the back of the nose. I know a lot of times people like to leave like a little, like say when you sew around the circumference of the nose, sometimes people will leave a little space and they'll use that to turn, but trust me, cut the nose, cut the little slit in the back of the nose, because if you leave a space open, it will change the shape of the pig's nose. So so cut the back, cut the back, and then you got to flip it inside out, and then you're going to stuff it. I like to use Morning Glory, Fiberfill, or Mountain Mist. Those are my favorites because they are very dense and firm. But I think for just the nose, it wouldn't be a really big deal, but you really want your nose to have a juicy, plump type look to it. And I'm using my wooden dowel to push out the edges. Now I sped this video up at least 4 times, so it looks like I'm being really rough in the video or pushing too hard against the edges, but I am really honestly being very careful because I don't want to punch a hole into my little piggy nose. So now, and you know what, this pig nose is going to use more fiberfill than you imagined. Like for me, I thought, like, this is a lot, but you really do want to make sure you use a nice amount of stuffing so that, you know, the pig nose can have that juicy, plump, voluptuous type look to it. Now once you stuff the nose, you are going to make sure that you accentuate the little heart shape. Like, you know, to me that is one of the most prominent and beautiful aspects about the nose, is that it looks like an upside down heart. So just make sure that you take your time and make sure you have a beautiful shape. Now once you have stuffed the nose, you don't have to sew the little opening in the back. You don't need to sew it because you're going to ladder stitch the nose onto the pig and you're going to hide it anyway. But once you do that, now you have your pig nose. you're going to take a pen or any type of marker, and you're going to place dots in the area where the nostrils are. And you are going to sew, like you're going to sew in that area to ensure that and you're going to sew it really tight to create an indentation. You see what I'm doing here in the video? You see how I am using, I'm just going in and out several times over the markings that I made for the nostril, and it's going to create an indentation. And now once you have that beautiful indentation, we're going to get to the fun part where we actually, the bling part. Then you're going to select an acrylic gemstone that you feel suits your money pig's personality. I had a very difficult time selecting the perfect acrylic gemstone. There were some options that I thought were really cool, but since this pig is being used for money, I thought, let me get something that, that's a little bit more flashy. But, it's your money pig, child. You can make it however you want. Now, these are acrylic gemstones that I purchased from Amazon. The black here, I think they would make beautiful eyes for mystical beings. But look at those. I love them. Aren't they cute? I decided not to use them because this is a money pig and I wanted it to have a more luxurious look about it. So I decided to go with this rich, deep burgundy acrylic gemstones for the nostrils, which I thought, says, I felt that it resonated with the frequency, the vibration of prosperity. So I decided to go with these gemstones for my money pig, child. And then for the gold nose, again, this looks really cute. The little simple black acrylic gemstones. But again, I decided, well, this is the money pig, so I think I'm going to pick something a little flashier. But anyway, after you select your acrylic gemstones, you're going to use I like crystal cold glaze because it dries clear. Okay. It's very clear, and when you're creating your art, you don't really want people to see. Well, I'm going to say people. This is for you. Who cares about people, right? This is for you. You want it to look as neat as possible. And you know what they say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So this is your baby. Everything I make, I love. So now that I've put the crystal cold glaze into the indentation and to create the nostrils for my money pig, and I'm going to let it dry. Usually about, I'll let it dry for at least a couple hours. And after it dries completely, you're going to ladder stitch your beautiful upside down heart onto your money pig. And make sure the thing I like about ladder stitching is that if you make a mistake, you just cut the thread and you can start over. I think you could also hot glue the nose onto your money pig, but if you make a mistake or it's not centered correctly, or you just want to pick another color or whatever, you have to, if you hot glue it onto your pig, it may ruin the fabric and you may want to start over. So it is very important to create your pig's nose and to sew it. Well, I don't want to say create, but it is very important to sew on the pig's nose before we move on to the eyes. Now, the reason you want to do it in this order is because once you work on the eyes, you don't want to manipulate your pig anymore for a while. Like what I'm saying is, you see how I'm holding the money pig because I'm sewing, ladder stitching the nose onto the body. Well, if the eyes were on, believe me, I made this mistake 1,000 times before I learned my lesson. The eyes would become detached. Sometimes, you move them around, or you mess up the eyelashes or the eyelid, or sometimes, you get like fingerprints onto the surface of the eye. Once you put your eyes on, darling, I don't care if it's your money pig, or for me personally, any doll that I make, the last thing I manipulate are the eyes, and I let the eyes dry, because once I put my eyes on, I don't want to accidentally, mess up the lashes, or, the eyes are very delicate. So you want to go ahead and ladder stitch the nose onto your pig. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is that, when you are creating the pig's nose and you have that little hole in the back, I think it is a perfect spot to write a little tiny petition of what you wanted to find. Because, pigs actually use their nose to root for food, and for, I think I talked about it in a previous video, one of the most expensive mushrooms or delicatessens, I am drawing a blank on that name right now, in the world. And they're always rooting for opportunities. They use their nose to communicate with each other, to show affection to each other. They use their noses are to find, food, water, in the earth. So the nose is very, very important, and it has a deep relationship with earth. Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention really quickly, because I've noticed sometimes I talk about everything but the video, child, is that there are so many sayings or symbolism about noses in general. Like, for example, some people say that when your nose itch, that means you're going to receive a visitor, you're going to receive a gift from spirit, such as wisdom or knowledge or prophecy. Some people say that depending on where your nose itch determines what you're going to receive or what you're going to, get. I have found personally, when my nose itch, I usually get money. So money is coming to me from somewhere, and it's usually from somewhere unexpected. In the comment box below, I would love for you to tell me, what have you heard about what happens when your nose itch? Oh, and I also heard that some people say that it's a connection with the paranormal or the spirit world, maybe your guardian angels. But there are spiritual beings who are trying to, deliver a message to you. And there are also cultures that believe that when your nose itch, it means that you are not on the right path in your life, and that you need to, reconsider the direction you're going in. And once you make the right decision, your nose will stop itching. But these are just various cultures have various sayings about what nose itching means. And also nose size is a big deal too. Like people with big noses, a lot of times it says the symbolism of wealth. I thought it was interesting with the Brat dolls, how the dolls really did not have a nose. And I think that's why they're not around, because your nose connects you to the spirit realm. One of my favorite stories about the nose is from Barbara Streisand. They tried to make her get a nose job because they said her nose was too big. But she refused to do it. She said, because if my nose is good enough for God, it's good enough for me, child. Woo! I added the child. But anyway, I love that. So guys, check out the playlist on how to make the money pig. And I like to break them down into the various parts. So I have a video on how to trace and stuff the pattern, and I have a video on how to make the tail and the ears, which I think are a little intricate. I like to take my time. And then I have a video coming out about how to make the pig's money sign, bling bling eyes, and then how to add the zipper and the coins to the bottom of the feet, and we'll wrap up. But check out the playlist and it will take you step by step on how to make this money pig. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you, darling, in the next video.